everyone, it's Angie from Dare to Care. I'm back with another video to show more ingredients from our food boxes that can be used in different ways. Today we're going to focus on salmon, and we're going to make salmon patties. So the salmon that we send out in our boxes, and a lot of the times what people get, is this about 15-ounce can of salmon. One thing to note on this salmon is it almost always comes with skin on and bones in. A lot of the times people go through and pick out all those bones and skin. It's not necessary at all. So everything that's happened in the canning process to get this in here, the pressurization, the processing, this has made those bones very, very fragile. So when you heat them, like we're going to do with our salmon patties today, those bones will just kind of disintegrate within the dish, and it actually adds a really great calcium source to your salmon patties. And then same thing with the skin. We're going to be mixing this all together. So you really don't need to take the skin out, and it actually adds a really great fat to the dish. So if you are a textural person and you don't want that in there, go ahead and like rip out the spine of it. I know it's kind of gross to talk about, but the spine of it that you might see in the bulk of the skin, but you don't have to sit there and nitpick every little piece to get all the bones out. We are gonna I first started off by draining the salmon. It's a good practice to save a little bit of the liquid just in case you need to rehydrate your patties back up at the end if they're a little dry looking. So I drained out the salmon. I picked out the big part of the bones that you easily see, and a big part of the skin that you easily see. And then what we're gonna do, this is so easy, you guys. What we're gonna do is just throw this in our bowl. And I did have a little bit of the liquid in the bottom of this bowl. Next, we are gonna add 1 egg to this. So we're gonna crack 1 egg, throw it in there. And then 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs, cracker crumbs, whatever you have. So to make this healthier, and as we always promote whole grains, you could take whole wheat bread. This is what I've done in the past. Take whole wheat bread that's maybe about to go bad. And if you don't have time, then throw it in the freezer. But when you are ready, bring it out, thaw it out, and just bake that bread at like 250 degrees until it gets really dried out, and then just crush that up. And that's breadcrumbs. That's all you need. You can also do whole wheat crackers and just crumble those up. But either way, what we have, you need a 1/4 cup of whatever type of breading you use. So right now I do have, just for simplicity, I have some breadcrumbs here. So we're going to do a 1/4 cup of breadcrumbs and throw those in there. And then whatever seasoning you might want. Sometimes your breadcrumbs might be seasoned already. Then generally you don't need to add any type of salt, at least, to it. But generally you also don't have to add any other seasoning. I'm going to add a little bit of black pepper just because I like that. And like I said, I'm keeping this super simple, but if you wanted to, you could also cut up a little bit of green onion or white onion and throw that in there. I would say less than a 1/4 cup or 1/4 cup maybe, to keep things so that you're not having your patty fall apart. But add those in there, add shredded carrot, add shredded vegetable, get some more veggie in there, but I just want to make a really, really simple recipe for everyone today. So what we have is our can of salmon, 1 egg, a 1/4 cup of some type of bread crumb or cracker crumb. We're going to recommend our whole grain. And then I did a little bit of pepper in here. So I'm just going to mix it all up. You want to mix it up until there's no more big flakes of salmon left. And then just patty it up from there. So I do recommend using your hands to patty. Your hands are your best tool in the kitchen. And then just make about, whatever fits in the palm of your hand. One thing to know too, the reason I chose salmon today is because a lot of the times it's overlooked, but salmon is something, and fish is something we should have 2 to 3 times a week. We should have about 8 ounces of fish per week. So we need to remember to make sure we get that in, whether it be canned fish, fresh fish, what have you, frozen, get it in some way. Those omega-3s are just unbeatable. So I'm actually not going to cook these today either. I'm just going to freeze them for future use, which you can do, by the way, is freeze these. Now you can also add, for a little bit more flavor, you could add, when I was talking about seasonings, a really great seasoning with fish is dill. You could also add a little bit of lemon juice to hydrate these up if you wanted, and that's a really great fish complement. Italian seasoning is really great. If you've watched my videos, you know I'm a huge Italian seasoning fan, so I would add Italian seasoning. But this right here made 4 really good sized patties. Now when I get these out of the freezer, if say I wanted to go cook them right now, if I was taking these out of the freezer, I would probably fry them on a pan on the stove. And when I say fry, I mean fried, not deep fry. A lot of the times when we're used to, especially salmon patties, we're used to half the pan full of oil and drenching them in oil and frying them. What I mean is a tablespoon, maybe 2 of oil, and cooking all 4 patties in that amount of oil. A lot of the times when we deep fry, we're coating this whole thing in oil, and it's just way too much fat for us. This is already a really good, healthy fat. We don't need more in there. So say I froze these and I'm taking them out right now and I'm ready to cook them. I'm not, like I said, I'm not going to cook them today, but if I was, the way I would do it is I would just put about a tablespoon. If I was doing 1 patty, I'd do about a tablespoon of oil in the bottom of the pan, get that nice and hot, throw the patty down and cook it maybe 4 minutes on each side. Get nice golden crispy. And then a really great topping I would recommend would be Greek yogurt with dill, lemon juice, and maybe some cucumber. It's a really, really good pairing with fish, and it's really light and citrusy and a lot healthier than maybe like our tartar sauces, which are mayo based or saturated fat based. Our yogurt, Greek yogurt, is going to taste similar to a sour cream, and it's not going to have any fat in it. As always, comment, like, love, and make, and let us know how it goes. All right, thank you guys.